What is up, y'all? We are live today for the Carabao Cup. We got League Cup action midweek here. Got a bunch of games going on today as well as tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be way more locked in for the Chelsea game, but figured I'd go live for y'all. Still some good soccer to be had today. Obviously, the League Cup going to lead to a lot of changes in lineups. It's an interesting kind of dynamic of how each team's going to sort of treat the Carabao Cup and how they're going to, approach this. City, so in my middle TV, I got Man City. On to my left, your right will be Liverpool. And to my right, your left will be Leeds United game. So I got 3 games going right now. All my picks are on the bottom there, going for Southampton, Liverpool, Leeds, the over in the City game, -3 in the City game, and I also like Sterling to get a goal. So I think you got about 1 minute to get into those goal props. Probably can still get some live bets on those lines. And let's get out of here, boys. Definitely let me know what's going on in the chat. Let me know, how we feeling, any picks. I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I just had to bet against Fulham today. So I really like Leeds today. I don't know. We'll see. Leeds hasn't been as strong as I'd like in this season, but with cup play, I still think they might have a little more depth than the struggling Fulham. And then City and Liverpool, I was surprised to see, obviously, Liverpool going with a bit of a more, you could probably say B-, almost C squad, but still getting some pretty good value at a -167 money line. I really think that, Norwich City, that's a kind of team that is a semi-strong squad and definitely will try to get success at home against a big, top 6 club. So you can never really sleep on a club like that. That's always a danger spot. But I do think that Liverpool should still have enough. And especially this being sort of early in the season, I do believe that this is an important cup game. A lot of these guys on teams like City or like a Liverpool, or as we'll see tomorrow with Chelsea, where these rotational or bottom of the squad type guys, or maybe even guys from the reserves that are getting an opportunity in these cup games, they're going to really try to show stuff. So even though you show, you say like, oh, it's not the most talented lineup, it's, it's a B squad, it's a C squad. Like, these are top tier players that truly want to prove what they can do and probably try to earn some more minutes in the squad in some more meaningful games. So really like to, kind of see how that dynamic plays out. All right, looks like we're off in Liverpool. We're about to kick off here in City. Leeds just a second behind here. All right. So we're at home for City. We're on the road for Liverpool and Norwich. Great to see Jimmy Greaves, obviously a legend across all of English football, especially for Chelsea and Tottenham. But great to see even Fulham giving him the love. They're doing a nice tribute over there right now at Fulham. So that, definitely show respect to the legend, one of the greatest goal scorers in the Premier League history. So you really got to give the love up to him. Seeing what Chelsea and Tottenham did for him over the weekend was really special, especially since he spent most of his career at those 2 clubs. So it was really great, especially on a London Derby day, to be able to, have that moment of 2 true rival fan bases kind of coming together and appreciating the greatness of a player, that obviously meant a lot to both clubs. So you don't always get that, but it was nice to see. All right, let me get this stream tweeted out real quick. Appreciate anyone out here watching. Nothing too big early. Let's see here. All right, early corner for Liverpool. Let's see, down by Origi, golazo! Who was that? Minamoto getting the start and getting early action for Liverpool. That cat's good. That cat's real good. I mean, he's obviously young, and he's kind of one of those players that I think that's really been the struggle for Liverpool is they've been trying to, find that depth because obviously we know their top 11, maybe 13 guys as good as anyone in the league. But when you start getting a little lower down to the, when you start looking at City or United or Chelsea right now, like they got 2 full 11s, if not more, of world-class players or players they could play in just about any game. So these kind of players in these kind of games are going to be huge for a team like Liverpool where, maybe it's Origi, maybe it's Jones, maybe it's Minamoto, like any of these guys that can really show their worth to them and show that they could, be given more minutes as they try to go for, Champions League and FA Cup. I mean, if you're trying to really win trophies and multiple trophies in England, you absolutely need depth. Like that's the key to everything. And that's where I really, as a Chelsea fan, feel great right now. Because I mean, we have 2 full 11s plus. Pretty much at every position, we have a minimum of 2 players. Left center back could be a little questionable, but other than that, there's pretty much, great chance for Norwich on the counter. Ran a little long, though, at the back post. Ooh, Wycombe giving a little pressure to City early on. Interesting. Is that Zach Steffen? I believe the American Zach Steffen getting a start here for Man City. Love to see that. Love to see him getting some minutes. That's going to be an interesting situation. Obviously, we're talking EPL Cup here, but little U.S. soccer tangent. I really don't know what's going to happen here with the men's national team going further into qualifiers and eventually into the World Cup at the keeper position. Because at this point, I feel like we have 3 really solid keepers in Zach Steffen, Ethan Horvath, and what's his name from the New England Revolution? Jesus, I'm losing my mind. But it's going to be interesting because in the MLS, he's getting a lot more, playing time. He's a consistent starter. And Ethan Horvath is getting a lot more time in Belgium. So the minutes are absolutely there for them too. And if you're going off minutes and form, you would expect that the people who are playing are going to be more likely to be in that form. But, I don't know if it's consensus, but the majority, if you just ask who's the most talented keeper we have, it's probably Zach Steffen at City. So a lot of people thought he may go on loan during this season, but he stayed at City. He's probably going to get more, cup in those type of appearances. Sterling. Couldn't find on the end of the ball, but beautiful ball over the top. Tried to take it one touch on the volley and just whiffed on the chance, but beautiful ball. Ed would not hate catching that Sterling girl early tonight. Okay, confirmed. That is Zach Stefanenke. So great to see him getting a game in here for City. Obviously, behind Ederson isn't going to be the easiest thing to break through, but at the same time, him being in that, massive European club and training behind arguably, top 3 to 5 keeper in the world in Ederson, like he should be learning a lot. So it's an interesting situation to definitely keep an eye on, but it's going to be tough who really, grabs control of that keeper spot, because especially going into a World Cup, like I trust all three, but I kind of want to get it to the point that like we know who our keeper is, like especially anytime US has had some sustained success, we've always had a set keeper, like the Tim Howard era. Like we've always had that one guy, and we've always had multiple good keepers, Bragg's on, other guys, but we've always had a clear number one. And this is the first time that I think we've really had, and these are the questions that U.S. soccer is going to start having to answer, where we're finally getting, top European talent, and the MLS is starting to catch up to the European talent. And now we have multiple players that are at, I don't know if it's quite world class yet, but very competitive, world stage. And now we're going to actually have to start making real decisions of what makes our team the best. Before, where it was just kind of like, well, this guy plays at a shitty club in Europe, so like he should probably start. And now we have options, so it's a blessing and a curse. And now we're gonna have to figure out a way, especially in a weird COVID year with travels and qualifications, to try to build some chemistry. But enough on that. Oh, Leeds, solid ball through, but is that Calvin Phillips? Is he getting the start for Leeds today? Oh no, that's Roberts. Okay. See, Brentford up 1-0. Sheffield United actually up 1-0 on Southampton. I took Southampton money line. Sheffield hadn't looked good to start the year in the championship, so I was kind of trying to ride against that, but could be in trouble there early. Free kick in their own half for Wycombe. Decent ball to the back post, but flags up. Take a look at the Liverpool lineup real quick. Okay, Connor Bradley. That's who just drew the free kick outside. Young left back for them. Got a free kick right outside the box here. Sterling into the byline, to the back post, but no one's there. Liverpool free kick to the back post, and no one's there. Runs through. Did it get a touch? They did get a touch on for the corner. City all in and around the box. Runs through to the keep. Leads with a nice chance. Solid save by the keep, and then they could not control the rebound. Oh, another chance for Liverpool, but too close to the keep. Cleared out by Norwich. There may be a counter on here. Yeah, cleaned up by the back line. Solid little free kick here for Wycombe against City. Just outside the corner flag, they get a free kick. So let's see if they can take advantage of an opportunity. I'd kind of rather not because I got City with a pretty big spread, but let's see what we got here. Low ball in, cleared out. Second cross to the back post. Got a head on. Oh, but foul called on the initial header. That's tough. Jeez. The striker for Wycombe's an absolute fucking unit. This dude's a thick boy. Bit of a lull in all three games. Oh, Sterling back down the back line. Ball stays in, but Wycombe takes possession. Norwich has been trying to create the offense by just sort of chucking it up to one of their strikers, but they're just getting bodied by the center backs. They're really not getting anything from that. And then they're trying kind of a half press on the back line, but it's really not amounting to much. Tough that they have to chase the game down 1-0 the whole game, but I think they got to try to sustain a low possession here. They're going to be in for a long day. And another Norwich turnover. Minamoto down the wing. Tries to chip it over. A little too strong. Fulham's actually maintained some possession on. City solid counterattack here. De Bruyne and Phil Foden playing in this game. So they started a pretty solid lineup. I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about before with the depth, where it's like, oh, Phil Foden open in the middle, deflection, saved, can't get it on frame. Norwich trying the big switch. Can he get to that ball before the end line? No, he cannot. Good idea. See, there was some decent build-up by Norwich. Oh, Sterling getting slipped through on his left. Cut back. Taps it over. And a great last play by that defender, Fernand Torres. Looked like he had a tap-in, but defender recovered real well. Come on, boys. Free kick for Norwich, about 7 yards outside the box on the slightly left side. Interesting little chance for them. I don't know who their free kick taker would be in this situation, but they can get someone on the frame. It's definitely within range. Little far. Yeah, I mean, Raheem Sterling is just getting whatever he wants down the left wing right now. Luckily, they've been able to, stop that final ball. So they haven't got caught out yet, but Sterling's sort of just doing whatever he wants right now. Mahrez into, Torres put on the header, but decent save. Wasn't the greatest header, kind of straight at the keep. But beautiful ball in by Mahrez. Mahrez is starting to most of the build-up's been down the right, and Mahrez is starting to sort of not attack the back line and try to find a little more space. Norwich put that free kick over the bar. Billy Gilmore taking the free kicks, I believe. Love to see that. Okay. My guy Billy. Love him being at Norwich. That system, I feel like, fits so well. And really, with the Chelsea midfield, he's not going to be able to get minutes, but he is not a guy that I want to sell. I think he's got a very bright future. You're really starting to see City's attacking players come a little bit more towards the midfield, and I think that's going to start opening up spaces and making their defenders get out of place. Ball in for Kevin De Bruyne, runs too far to the keep. Almost had the weight on that. Norwich starting to settle into this game a little bit against Liverpool. Liverpool probably okay to sustain a little bit of possession. You know, being up 1-0 early, I don't think they need to overpress. But Norwich finally, playing a few nice passes, keeping a little possession, not just hucking the ball upfield and hoping to find a striker. Wycombe getting a turnover and a free kick right outside the box. On the left edge of the box. Probably won't be able to curl it directly on frame here, but definitely a great target to put a ball in. Egan Riley, young right back, getting in a little trouble there. No card. Like to see Zach Steffen being more vocal. Trying to get the squad on. Looks like we got a two-man wall just to kind of cover this front post here. With De Bruyne just behind. Plays it short, tries to play it in low. Second ball out, deflected out. See if they can get the clear. Wickham's still on. And eventually turned over to De Bruyne. Beautiful touch by De Bruyne, and here comes City. Over the top to Mahrez, too long in, and not sure if he would have been held onside. It was close. Decent build-up for Leeds. They're getting themselves a corner. Liverpool starting to seem to push the press up a bit. Origi on the left side, trying to play a ball in. Nobody there on the back post. Flows out to the right back. Wickham with a solid chance and a great save by Steffen. That looked like it was fine in the back corner, and Steffen got just enough on it to push it out for the corner. But, Wickham having a go. Getting themselves a corner, getting themselves one of the better chances of the game, honestly. Shockingly, the first corner of the game. City has not gotten a corner. First one for Wickham. In tight on the keep, cleared out. Second ball deflected. And a tap in for Wickham. Oh my. 1-0. Absolute chaos. The ball came out to the top of the box. Played in, bunch of deflections, fell to the far post, and played across for the absolute tap-in. And the away fans go bananas at the Etihad. Wow. 1-0 Wickham. Punch out by Zach Steffen. Couldn't get cleared. The only question I have is the guy who had the assist, was he offsides? But I don't believe so with the amount of people that were in the 6-yard box. I believe he's onside, especially because it came off a deflection, so he's probably on from the earlier attempt. But a lot of work to do for City now. Lots of work to do for City now. And honestly, with the way that Wickham's been playing, I would keep playing the same game. They've been trying to get some possession. They've had some, chances at the box. They've had some counterattacks. That's what's given City this, the trouble this year. And I think trying to just go into a shell and, try to just hold off Man City for the next 70 minutes is the wrong way to go about this. I think they have to stay aggressive. Obviously, don't keep too high of a press. You don't have to, just be chasing shadows all day. But keep your structure, but I definitely try to get forward as much as possible, especially with this inexperienced back line. There's definitely some, skill in going forward in the midfield, but definitely some inexperience in the back line for Man City. So I'd keep pressing them. I'd keep trying to get a second if you're Wickham. Don't take off the gas, but lots of work for City to do here. So quick score update. Wickham 1-0. Liverpool 1-0. Leeds Fulham 0-0. And let's get a check on the Southampton game. That is still Sheffield United 1-1. Actually, Southampton just tied it in the 23rd minute. 1-1. Ibrahima Diallo got the header. Woo! And a nice save by Wickham. Kevin De Bruyne trying to go top corner there. Earns himself a corner. I mean, Sterling on this right wing is just an absolute problem. Little slip. De Bruyne tries to chip it back in. Goalie has to keep it out. Yeah, I feel terrible for this left back that has to deal with Sterling, but I don't think his day is getting any easier anytime soon. Played in short, out to De Bruyne, back to Sterling on the wing. Clipped in and cleared out for another corner. Norwich getting a little sustained possession here. Drawing some fouls in the midfield, moving the ball side to side. Starting to get something going here. Billy Gilmore sort of being a bit of a linchpin, kind of moving it from that left to right. And all comes for naught. Right into the keeper. Another corner played short. Back to Sterling on the back wing. Oh! He tried to chip it over right across the face of goal, but nobody on the back post could finish. What a play. I mean, nobody is marking Sterling on this back wing. He's just doing whatever he wants, and I know they haven't found anything from it yet, but I would keep going to the well with that because that is wide open. And until they stop it, I'd keep going after it. What they're going to need is clearly he's getting the space on the wing because they're packing the 6-yard box, especially when City gets in the final third. They're going to need more of either their back-end midfielders or maybe their right back to get on that back post and be those tertiary options, be those, have someone on the penalty spot, but that guy's getting eaten up by 3 guys and they're clearing it out immediately. They need those secondary runs from the midfield, from the back line, to be on that back post because that's where the ball's ended up every time. Anytime they've tried to go direct to the penalty spot, it's gotten cleared out immediately. They've seen some success in openings on the back post. They just haven't had the guy there. So I think that's big on the right back, or maybe Mahrez should check his runs a little bit, not go as close to the penalty spot, stay back a little bit, make himself more of an option. Norwich with a solid chance here. Cleared out, but on second ball, Billy Gilmore at the top of the box. Good ball in, cleared out by Wickham for a throw-in, just by the corner flag. Chance here for Leeds, cleared out for a corner. This Roberts kid, the striker for Leeds, he's getting himself into some dangerous positions. Nothing's come from it yet, but he's really making the runs, and when those wingers or the left or right backs are getting in those wide positions, he's there. He's there for the target. So interested to see what he does. Foden into De Bruyne on the end line. Poor touch by Kevin De Bruyne. You don't see that often. Basically just bad second touch, and it ran out. Goal kick. I mean, the things that they're doing through the midfield to release De Bruyne and Sterling and Mahrez to the end line is second to none. It's absolutely beautiful, but when they're getting there, they're just not having the class to finish or to create something from it. I think it's about time for that midway through the first half splash. If y'all want a match, roll one up. Kevin De Bruyne coming in on the – dude, this left wing is just wide open. Kevin De Bruyne nutmegs the center back and just finishes bottom corner. Pure class. He kind of felt it coming, and you kind of think that might open the floodgates. Great for me because I have the over. I need this 3.5 to come through, and there's 2. I mean, Phil Foden just absolutely dancing through their entire midfield, putting a beautiful ball through, and then De Bruyne just making that defender look bad. Ugh. Good touch, gets it on his right through the legs, bottom corner. Oh, that's brutal. Wickham playing well, holding as much as they can, and I don't know if that's going to be the last of that because they really haven't shown anything in the formation or the effort to close down that wing, and it looks just to be open season. And pretty much Foden and Mahrez and basically anyone in their midfield is just taking turns putting through balls through to De Bruyne and Sterling down that wing. From my gambling perspective, I definitely want, I want Liverpool to hold on to this, but from just a fan perspective, Norwich has been doing some interesting things, and I would not hate, them tying this up and making this interesting in the second half. I would love a Leeds goal. Fuck Fulham. Those pussies won't even fucking play us. Had to go and get relegated, so I can't even play my rival. Pussios. They might end up in the fucking League One after the end of this season. They might get relegated again. Sterling on the outside. Looks like Mahrez was getting bored on the opposite wing, so he flipped sides, tried to get a touch of the ball. Into De Bruyne. Oh, tried to play a cheeky back right to Sterling, but defender was wise to it. Long ball in for Norwich. It could be a counterattack here. Oh, Joe Gomez just absolutely bodied him off the ball. But a turnover for Norwich here. Slipped in. Norwich. Oh, right at the keep. Oh! My, was that Phil Foden? I'm not 100%, or was that Sterling? Yeah, I believe it was Sterling. It probably would have been offsides. I think the flag did go up, but he just absolutely ripped it off the bar. Oh, my. Whew. Oh, so the flag was raised on the rebound, but Sterling put it off the post. That was a hell of a shot. You can tell that City's confidence starting to build. Woo, that was sketchy. Going back to the keep, Zach Steffen cleaned it up. Looks to take a bit of a knock there on the collision. Seems to be okay. Ball in long to Egan. Oh, back in is Sterling, but just too much sauce. Billy Gilmore getting into the mix with Minamoto on the corner. Oh, it was actually Billy's fault on the original goal. He was kind of marking Minamoto and then just sort of left him, and he ended up being the eventual goal scorer. Here comes a counter by City, started by De Bruyne. Oh, good pickoff by the right back. Tries to play through the winger, but a bit too much pace. Played back to the keep. De Bruyne probably pretty upset with himself. I mean, he tried an absolute cheeky of an outside foot for a cross, but that's the kind of pass that he expects himself to make. Sterling coming back into the midfield a bit. Phil Foden trying to make a run through the channel. You can tell Mahrez knows that most of this attack has been coming down this left channel, so he's been sort of trying to almost playing like a number 10 role where he's kind of floating more to the midfield or more to the middle of the field and, trying to kind of create an overload on that left side. Interesting. They're talking about Raheem Sterling being linked on a loan move in January to Barcelona. That's interesting because, obviously world-class player. Obviously Barcelona is looking for a winger like that to replace, Messi and Neymar and all the world-class wingers that have left there. The Dembele experiment hasn't really worked out. Memphis Depay is starting to look good, but he's sort of establishing himself sort of as a striker. Like as you saw, I don't know if you watched the Barcelona game yesterday, but Memphis was sort of playing almost as a left winger a little bit more, especially once Luke de Jong came on. And I feel like that wasn't his natural position. He created a few good chances, but I think he's got to be front and center for them. And I think if they could bring in a guy like Sterling, that's very interesting to, provide the service. Corner for City, corner for Leeds. I'd love a Leeds goal right here. I hate Fulham. Whipped in by Foden, cleared out. Wickham might actually have a little counterattack off here. Played out on the throw by Zinchenko. Was that? Oh, De Bruyne. Cheeky bastard. Throw in for Wickham, and he kind of gave the old, little shove to the guy so he couldn't get that quick throw in off. Ooh, good chance for Leeds. Nice little ball through, but just wide of the post. Referee plays advantage. City on the counterattack here. Sterling looking to slip someone through. What a ball by Sterling. Find Phil Foden. Oh, tries to play it back to Sterling, but an absolutely surgical ball by Sterling. We had now Mahrez now on the left wing. Throwing for City. Little counterattack here by Liverpool. Giving right up. Let's see if Norwich can take it the other way. They do, and they play it through, but the keeper's there to sweep. Sterling, oh my God, absolutely undresses the defender, but wide of the post on the left. Oh, man. I mean, maybe that wasn't the best shot, but you absolutely lose a defender like that, you have to have it go. You got to buy a ticket. Oh, just got through the ball and hit the stanchion on the left. Oh, what a play by Lavia. Sterling leading the 4-on-3 break. Out to Torres, saved by the keep, but the rebound can't be handled by Mahrez. Came right into his feet, but he couldn't control it. Wait, what's the call here? Okay. Foul on City. Lavia kind of went over the ball and then caught a Wickham player. He's gonna card him for that? I think that's weak. He was definitely making a play on the ball. His foot rolls over the ball, and then he ends up falling into the player. Foul, no doubt. I mean, studs did come up, but I guess it's in the fact of you have to be in control of your own body. So, on that fact, I can see a card, but that seems a little harsh. Norwich with the solid chance on the rebound. Oh, penalty! Penalty for Norwich. Bradley came in. Great shot on target by Norwich, and then they were wide open on the back post of the rebound. Right back came in, basically just clashed into the back of them, and the ref gave the penalty decision. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a pen. He came in reckless, through the back, leg came up, tried to make a play on the ball, but leg goes right across the chest. That's clearly a penalty. I mean, I kind of said it. I mean, I did bet on Liverpool, so I'm not, loving that. But I did say, Norwich seems to be outplaying them. Here comes the take. Save! And the rebound! Can it be cleared out? Another save! Oh, man, Liverpool get away with it. Wow. What a save by the keep. Kick save and a beauty. And here comes Liverpool on the counterattack. Oh! And City hits the post again. Oh, and Liverpool right over the bar. Jones. He's been good in the midfield. Score check on still 1-1 Southampton, 1-1 in City, 1-0 in Liverpool, barely as they saved a penalty, and 0-0 for Leeds and Fulham. See if there's anything. Our QPR actually up on Everton. I took them +1. They're up 2-1 on Everton. I thought they'd give them a game. That's always a London team, especially in these Carabao Cup type situations, that sometimes just give some of these big clubs some trouble. I liked QPR today. Let's see any other updates. Brentford up 3-0 on Oldham Athletic. Stoke up 1-0 on Watford. 1-0 Sunderland over Wigan. And Preston North End 2-0 against Cheltenham Town. That doesn't seem like a team that's going to go very far in this cup competition. Let's see here. City back in there, like in the Wickham box. And a golazo. Finally. Like I said with Mahrez, stop just going into the 6 box. They were pounding it. Finally, he found himself about a yard inside the 18, found a bit of space, got the delivery from the right back or the left back, and just banged it into the bottom corner. Plain and simple. See, as you see this build-up, Sterling, Foden are in the 6-yard box, and they're surrounded by 4 guys. And then Mahrez has the sense of mind to come in right at the top of the 18, find the space, and just bang it first time. Does he have a touch? Nope. First time with the left foot, curled right into the bottom corner. Beautiful finish. Norwich is asking a lot of questions of this Liverpool keeper. So far, so good. He's come up with it, but they just had another solid ball over the top that he had to come sweep. A little too much weight on that one, out for the goal kick. Two 2-1 City. I thought that over 3.5 just seemed way too good. We already got 3 in the first half. I mean, as we've seen in games before, I'm not counting anything before it actually happens, because I've seen games like this where it can get out early and you feel great and nothing in the second half. So I want to keep our foot on the gas. I also have City -3, so I need some work there. The Wickham goal was cute, but let's just keep City scoring here. This has no effect on the league, so I can root for him in the cup. Solid free kick opportunity here for Fulham. Just outside the box. Let's see how far out. It's literally right on the edge of the 18. Luckily, not a penalty, but definitely right in good free kick range. De Bruyne has a go. Oh, earns himself a corner off that. Okay. I didn't really see the deflection on there, but okay. I'll take it. 2 extra minutes. Played in short to the top of the box. Has a go. Oh, my God. Phil Foden, from about 6 yards outside the 18, just picks his head up and hit an absolute screamer. That was a fucking piss missile. He hit it pretty much straight at the keeper. The keeper got a hand on it, but it didn't even matter. Straight past him, right into the net. My God, what a rocket. Keeper had no chance. My God. Woo! That's a problem. This dude stung that. And he just had a little fade going to the back post, and keeper thought he had it covered, got a hand on it, and it just kept going. 3-1, over already hits in the first half. That's beautiful. We love that. So now our focus can just go on City trying to cover this -3. Gets a little more interesting with the Wickham goal. And now we need 5. Now we need 5 to cover, but just 2 in the second half sounds a lot better than getting 5. So I love getting that. That third goal is massive for everything. Liverpool just going to halftime. Looks like we still have a little bit of stoppage over here in the Fulham Leeds game. And it looks like Leeds is actually getting a free kick right outside the Fulham box, right about at the corner of the 18. Yeah, about 2 yards outside the box. It might be a little too far off to go direct, but this looks like a perfect place to put an in-swinger right to the back post. So hopefully they can get a chance at the end of the half. City just went to half. Let's see what this final chance. There's still about a minute or so left in stoppage in this Fulham game. Ball into the back post looks pretty good. Nobody can get on the end of it. And Fulham tries to clear. Have to play it back. But Fulham retains possession. Good switch. That should pretty much see out any chances unless, free kick for Fulham. And there's still about 40 seconds left on the clock, but really don't see we're going to get any more there. All right, halftime break. How are we feeling? As far as my picks go, let's get a check on Southampton. Southampton 1-1 at half. QPR up 2-1 at half. Stoke City still up 1-0 against Watford. Sunderland still up 1-0 on Wigan. Liverpool takes a 1-0 lead into the half. As we discussed, City 3-1 picking up that late Phil Foden goal. Fulham leads, looking like it's going to end 0-0 at the end of this half. Let's see if the ref's going to blow the whistle here. Played back to the keep, and that's all we got for the first half there. Burnley 0-0 against Rochdale. Interesting one there. Smaller club could hang in there, maybe steal one late. And then the biggest blowout of the day, Brentford 5-0 against Oldham Athletic. Brentford's an exciting team, and when they get scoring, they get scoring. And I don't even believe they started – no, they did not start Ivan Toney. He is on the bench for them, but that's impressive for them. Obviously, a lower-level club, Oldham Athletic. I'm not saying that's incredible, but 5 goals and a half against anybody without your top striker is impressive. So, interesting to see what Brentford can do in this tournament. And this is definitely – that's a team that just got to the Premier League that would definitely like to make a statement and make a, run at a cup. And they believe they belong there. So, interesting to see them make a statement right off the jump here. I'd love to see – it's going to be interesting what City does with their subs here. They do have a big match against Chelsea on the weekend. As a Chelsea fan, I'd love for Kevin De Bruyne to play 90 minutes. I'd love for Sterling to play 90 minutes. I'd love for Foden to play 90 minutes because that helps my spread today and hopefully my chances on Saturday. So that's going to be a big one. It's interesting how both those clubs will handle their rotations heading into a big match on the weekend. Obviously, looking over to let's take a little look into the Premier League standings. Obviously, only 5 matches in, but this is where it starts shaping up. Top of the table, we got Chelsea, Liverpool, and United, all at 13 points. Basically, Chelsea and Liverpool are pretty much tied. They both have allowed 12 goals, they've scored 12 goals and only allowed 1 goal. The 1 goal conceded for Chelsea was against Liverpool, and same for Liverpool. They conceded 1 against Chelsea. So both have held clean sheets in their other 4 games. They're looking to be some of the real class of it. United has created 13 goals, so they are the top scorers in the league, but they have conceded 4 goals. I guess that's not crazy, but when we're really talking the top class so early in the season, it is something to be note of. I think United's going to have no problem scoring all season. I am a little skeptical in the depth of their midfield, especially as their defensive midfield and their back line. So I really want to see what that's going to kind of translate into, moving throughout the season, through these long seasons with, Champions League and, Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and then obviously all the league matches, which the Premier League shaping out to show that it's deep. Like there's not a lot of like weeks off, or easy matches. So right behind them, the surprise of the early games, Brighton and Hove Albion. They are 4-0-1. They've only scored 7 goals and allowed 4, but they've found a way to make that into 4 wins. So credit to Brighton picking up 12 points, sitting in that Champions League spot. I know for a fact any Brighton fans out there, they're probably loving every minute of that, taking screenshots. I know it's 5 games in, but they got to have their fun where they can get it. And then right behind them at 10 points are Man City and Everton. Both of them have gotten to 10 points and gotten into it in different ways. Man City, 3-1-1, 11 goals for, 1 against. So if you're just looking in that goal differential, you can probably expect them to be right there with the other 3 teams at the top that we were talking about, not really conceding. But that 1 goal they conceded did end up in a loss. So, and obviously the 0-0 draw to Southampton is a tough fixture. So City, I think they're vulnerable. They really need that striker to really, they're missing it. They want Harry Kane. They clearly didn't get him, and he's not coming until at least January. So it's going to be up to Pep, who has, they have the riches of talent, but I think it's poorly spread out throughout the club. I think that's sort of their problem, where they have so many of these number 10 or pure wing type players like the Mahrez, like Sterling, like Foden, like De Bruyne, like all these attacking kind of going forward similar type players where, yeah, they have depth, but how many defensive midfielders do they have? How many center backs do they have? How many wing backs do they have? And that's where I think, especially as they're going to have the similar, trophy hopes that a club like Chelsea will have, they're going to want to win the FA Cup. They're going to want to win the Champions League. They're going to want to win the Premier League. They're going to want to win all these titles. And I'm going to wonder how, where on the, grand scheme of the long run, does that depth sort of, catch up to them a bit? And then with their, lack of a striker, do they find themselves in some tough spots, especially in cup games, where if you get caught in an FA Cup, or especially the Champions League, where, the depth in the Champions League this year is just ridiculous. You get caught in one of those 0-0 games like they had against Southampton, and someone catches one late, or you go on an aggregate, or, you didn't get the away goal, or whatever the scenario is, the margins are so thin in those cup competitions that if they're not consistently finding ways to score, and I'm not saying that they can't create, but they can't just have that guy to lean on to just find him then that one when it's not going well, that Sergio Aguero that they've, relied on for years. Maybe that, kills some title hopes. Maybe that kicks them out of a competition. Maybe that turns a couple of those wins into draws, or maybe a draw into a loss. And as the Premier League's shaping up, you can't be dropping points. There is so much talent throughout the league that I don't think it's going to be one of those like Liverpool undefeated seasons type thing. I really don't expect that. As a Chelsea fan, I would love it. And if we just keep not conceding goals, we'll never lose a game. But I really don't. I think points will be dropped, especially through draws, especially in these big games. But you really, the points that you're going to be able to give up if you really want to win this league, and even if you want to talk a Champions League spot, like the top 4 is going to be a tight race throughout. But enough on City. Moving down, we got Everton. They've actually played very well. I like their top 3. I think Richarlison is really, kind of coming into his own as a Premier League striker. Not exactly the prototypical Premier League striker like we see at some of the other clubs like Ronaldo or Lukaku or, even Firmino or some of these guys. Like, he's not exactly that, but this man can get buckets, and he can definitely – I could see him kind of getting into a role like a Firmino where he's starting to get the talent around him throughout the midfield and the wings to play off him, that he can use some of his holding skills and creativity to really have some people play off him. And I think that's going to create a lot. So Everton's a team that I think will kind of end up back where Everton usually is. But after a few disappointing seasons that they're a lot closer to the 10 spot than they were the 4th spot, I think they're going to be right in that mix for European competition. I think they're going to be a thorn in somebody's side for that 5th or 6th, or if it really clicks, possibly that 4th spot, you know? And I think they're going to be that team that wasn't really accounted for, and that's going to screw up all the math because a lot of people had pretty much roughly the same 5 to 6 teams penciled in, pretty much the same 4 in different orders for the Champions League spots. Maybe a Leicester would hop up. Some people thought Tottenham would. I never did. But, you know, everyone kind of knew what the top 4 was. But after the top 4, it's pretty much wide open for those 5th and 6th spots. You're really talking Tottenham, Everton. West Ham has looked good. They've dropped a few points. They've conceded a lot of goals. They've already let up 7 goals. They've scored 11, though. So I think West Ham, and I think that's kind of the theme of the Premier League, is that almost every team has 3 to 4 players going forward that are pretty much world-class and can create goals. And I don't think there's really a slouch in that department. I think what makes the difference in the Premier League is your midfield, your back line, and your overall depth. And that's what's really separating these top 3 to 4 clubs from the rest. But at the same time, I think that's what makes the Premier League so dangerous, is where you get a team like a West Ham that can create goals and can give people problems, like that United game on the weekend. If it wasn't for, the missed penalty and that whole Mark Noble thing, that's another draw for United, and they drop out of that top 3 spot, So, and maybe we're talking about West Ham where they pick up another point there. They're now in 9th. They're just on the outside looking in. That's a team that's what's going to be very interesting when we're talking about this race of the top 3 to 4 teams, is what do they do against this middle of the pack Premier League, where you're talking basically from, and obviously standings can be a little weird where we have teams like Leicester in 12th, and, Brentford's in 9th. Aston Villa has looked pretty good. They're 2-1-2, 8 scored, 7 conceded. So I think they're a team that could catch anyone on a day. Watford, I don't really trust them. I think they're going to fall to the bottom. Leicester, I think they're going to be better. They're a team that, has had a ton of success. I think they've been slowly getting picked from a little bit, and they haven't quite had that youth to step in and truly make the impact that they have been getting over the last, 7 years or so. So that may take a little bit of, time to really figure it out, but I wouldn't keep them far out of the top 7 or 8. I think they will bring it around. And if you have Jamie Vardy, I wouldn't count them out of much. And then you get into Crystal Palace, who, Wilfred Zaha is incredible. They have some attackers going forward. They can create some goals. They've only created 5 so far, but I do think there's more out of Crystal Palace. I could see them getting hot through the middle of the season and randomly getting through. And then towards the bottom. And then even I'm saying, towards the absolute bottom here, Southampton, Wolves, Leeds, Newcastle, Burnley, Norwich. Those are talented teams. Those teams all have some talent, especially going forward. Really only Burnley and Norwich are the only teams that don't have an elite striker or attacking mid that you're really, truly scared of. But even Newcastle, who's in 18th right now, they've created 6 goals. Now they've let up 13, and that's going to be their problem. But this is going to be a very interesting Premier League season, and especially, on a day like today with the, Carabao Cup going on. It's going to be very interesting to see how all these teams throughout the Premier League balance their depth and balance their lineup throughout Carabao Cup competition and League Cup competition. and eventually FA Cup when that gets going. Where like what do you hold importance on? Because there's not going to be a lot of opportunities where if you have a big game in the FA Cup, your next game in the Premier League, even if it is against a mid-pack team, that's not someone who you can just roll a B squad out to and get a dub. Oh, and we are off here in Liverpool and Norwich. Wow, early chance in the first minute for Norwich, but they put it over the bar. Liverpool's first game back here. And looks like City is about to kick off, and we still have a few minutes on Leeds here. Wow, Norwich absolutely going for it. I've said it. I think Norwich has outplayed them. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, where this is a perfect example where Norwich is in the bottom of the table right now. I don't know if they'll completely stay there. We'll see. With the talent in the Prem that we've talked about, they probably will. But I don't think they're just a rollover team. And, Liverpool tried to roll out pretty much you would consider this their B squad, maybe B minus squad. I don't think it's quite their C squad. But it's pretty much, it's a mostly reserves lineup. And Norwich is going pretty much toe-to-toe with them. Yeah, obviously they're up 1-0 right now, but Norwich has created better chances. They got a penalty that was luckily saved on a lucky foot by the keeper. Like, they're outplaying Liverpool right now, and that's kind of what I'm talking about, where our team's going to sacrifice talent or possibly their opportunity to win a trophy in some of these cup competitions so that they can stay competitive in the Prem. And that's where I think a team like Liverpool is going to struggle, where they don't quite have this talent and they could be beat by a team like a Norwich or a mid-table team in a cup competition. They might see an early exit from a Carabao or an FA Cup. And then if they're in that position, and then what pressure does that then put where they're now fully focused on the league and they can pretty much roll out the same lineup? Does that make them stronger for the league versus a team like Chelsea or City that's still in 4 competitions and has to rotate, but has more depth? So that's going to really be the theme of the season. And that's where I'm confident as a Chelsea fan, where it's like, pretty much any lineup, I could go through pretty much every position and I could roll out 2 to 3 guys that I feel comfortable starting in just about any single game against anyone. Like, yeah, there's definitely guys who I have a little preference for, but you're looking Romelu to Timo, both world class. Ziyech to Pulisic, Kai to Mason Mount, Kovacic and Saul, Conte and Jorginho, Chalobah and Christensen, Rudiger and Aspi. Like, it's crazy that you can literally go. I mean, shit, Kepa, before Tuchel showed up, that was guaranteed 2 goals for the other team. And now I think he's gotten 6 clean sheets out of 9 appearances or 5 clean sheets. Oh, and another goal for Liverpool. Looks like Divock Origi getting the nice header on. As much as I like to wax poetically about how Norwich was playing, that could be a bit of the nail in the coffin right there. Norwich playing their ass off, really trying to hold. But as our boy Roy Keane was freaking out on the weekend about, is I don't really give a fuck how you played for a half or that they hung with them for a half. That doesn't mean shit. What you can do for 90 minutes and what ends up on the scoreline is all that matters. So Liverpool looks like they're starting to take control of this here. Ooh, nice header on by Phil Foden, but right into the keep. And it looks like we're back on for Fulham Leeds. Fulham getting the early pressure, but turned over. Leeds on the counterattack. Got an open shot. Oh, what a play by the center back. Looked like he had him beat, went in for the sliding challenge at the last moment, and saves it out for a corner. Or did they even get the goal kick here? Wow. I mean, looks like you got ball, definitely got a piece of the man. I don't believe there is VAR in the Carabao Cup. I think most of the FA Cup and Carabao this year, I think that some of the smaller clubs didn't have the infrastructure and technology to have it, so they basically said we're not doing it for any of them, is my understanding. But I'm definitely have been wrong before and don't entirely know what I'm talking about. Mahrez coming down the wing here. Out to De Bruyne. Oh. Just floats one up to Fernan Torres, but center back there to clean it up. Origi to the back post, but just wide. Yeah, Liverpool look like they're starting to get into their own here. Norwich looking like their legs are getting a little heavier. The chances are starting to come. Oh, that's terrible by their back line. Very undisciplined. The right center back went forwards, tried to hold the line. The center back stayed back to keep Origi onside and just release him. Luckily, he missed the shot, but Liverpool starts looking like they're starting to feel themselves. Kevin De Bruyne a try from 35 out just to, stay in shape, but never really troubled to keep. See if we got any other changes in scores here. Wow, Rochdale actually tied it up on Burnley, 1-1. I always, especially in those kind of games and in the FA Cup and Carabao, you got to root for some of the smaller clubs to make a run. Why not? Rochdale, fuck it. Let's go. Let's give them a chance. So, love that. Let's see if we get any other changes here. Preston North End up 2-0. Everton has tied it against QPR 2-2. Looks like Andros Townsend just put one in at the 47th minute. So that's an interesting one there. If this Liverpool game gets out of hand, I may switch over to that one because that one's pretty interesting. Free kick for Wickham here. Not a terrible ball, got a head on, but wide of the post. That dude is an absolute unit for Wickham. Wickham striker, number 20, Bill Belichick got to get on the line because he could make better money being either a D-end or a middle linebacker for the Pats. That dude is a unit. And I'm sure it pays better than championship football, no disrespect. Fulham looking pretty threatening in this first half. They've had in the start of the second half, they've had way more of the possession. Let's see here. A bit of a lull in all the games. Looks like no subs for City. Let's see if they made any subs at half. Seems like they're rolling out the same lineup. Again, as a Chelsea fan, I'd love to burn all the minutes, as many as we could, especially on the Sterling's and De Bruyne's and Foden's going into the big game on the weekend, so they can play as much as their heart pleases. I will always say that always sucks when the team you're playing on the weekend gets an extra day of rest, but oh well, the schedule is what the schedule is. I would have liked Chelsea to be playing today, but can't always get what you want. And again, that's why I kind of trust with the depth in Chelsea that we can rotate in the guys we'll need and not have to really worry about that. Like, we could pretty much roll out like more or less a B squad against Villa, and it will still have nothing but class in it. Like, oh, we have to probably set Alonso, but we're bringing in Chilwell. And we're probably not going to play Conte, but we're going to play Saul. Like, and maybe we don't play Kovacic, but we play Jorginho. Maybe Timo Werner gets a run in, but honestly, I actually think that we should start. I think we should go in a 3-5-3 and play against City on the weekend. And I think we should play Romelu and Timo up top together. Because as we saw in the Champions League final, the pace of Timo Werner can definitely give City some problems, especially on the counterattack. I mean, shit, Wickham's gotten some counterattack opportunities. I'm sure Timo could. Long range effort for Liverpool. Off the back of the defender, out for a corner. Corner for Wickham. Second ball out to the wing. Ooh. Seeing eye ball through, but wide of the post. Wickham are asking a few questions here in the second half. I mean, it's only a 2-goal lead. If they could steal one here, which would devastate my spread, this could become a ball game. Sort of rooting for Liverpool to put in a third so that I could not have to watch that game. Maybe throw on the QPR Everton game, but Fallon Lavia, sorry. Young defensive midfielder. I mean, you got to be young if you're wearing number 90 for City, but great for him to at least get the opportunities. He hasn't honestly looked great today in that defensive midfield. A lot of fouls. He seems kind of out of position. And I will say it's sometimes tough for these, in that holding midfield position. It takes kind of a special kind of player to be able to still get the feel in some of these games where you're sort of always pressing forward. You don't know if you should be more of the attack, especially with the wing backs getting forward. Are you supposed to be the one to stay back? So for a young player, that can be a really tough thing to really, have a feel of the game and exactly where and what your positioning should be. Player that actually does that extremely well for City is Fernandinho. I feel like he's the kind of guy that understands when to go, when to try to create, but also be able to hold in the midfield and allow their, wing backs and other midfielders to get forward. What a touch by, oh my, Phil Foden juggling with it, but just could not finish. De Bruyne immediately getting possession back, out to Mahrez, to Sterling. Oh, Sterling couldn't quite get the touch on it. Corner for City. Not much going on in this Leeds-Fulham game. Haven't been massive chances. There were a few right out the gate in the first 5 minutes, and then the game's kind of slowed down to I don't know if I'd call it to a halt, but quiet. Okay, here's a chance for Leeds, but cleared out by Fulham. Kevin De Bruyne trying to just basically pass it into the net, but saved by the keep. Long ball over the top for Norwich. Has a touch, but can't quite control it, and flag goes up. Offsides. Jeez, Riyad Mahrez just left that defender in the dust.
Sterling. City toying with their League One opponents at the moment.
Watching City in this situation, especially when you have a big spread, is so stressful because it's like they almost always have possession. They're always almost creating chances, but it's just like, because you never feel out of it. You always feel like they could score 5 goals at any moment. But especially as we've seen this year, sometimes that final ball, that final finish just isn't there. So 61 minutes in, another score update. We haven't really gotten major changes. 3-1 still in City, 2-1 for Liverpool, 0-0 in the Fulham Leeds game. Let's get an update in other places. Still 1-1 Rochdale Burnley, 5-0 Brentford, 2-1 Preston North End. Still 2-2 Everton QPR. Southampton, let's go. I needed that money line. They are now up 2-1. I needed that. Stoke up 1-0 on Watford, and Sunderland up 2-0 on Wigan. We got a player down for Norwich, so nothing going on in that game. City kind of playing out the back, but that can always change very quickly. Leeds over the last few minutes has been getting a bit more possession, especially in Fulham's half, but haven't really been able to get anything real inside the box. Flicked on by De Bruyne to Foden. I mean, Foden, you have to have a go, right? Like, at this point, you hit an absolute screamer earlier. Go for it. This one, well wide, but you got to have a go. Yeah, Foden just hits these just low screamers that just and just got that little bit of movement on him. That one had obviously too much, but it's kind of the same shot he put on for the goal. And if he puts that on target, that's dangerous because it looks like it's coming in. It's coming in with a lot of pace, and it looks like it's coming right at you, and then it's just got that, it's almost like a cutter. Like it just, that backdoor bang. Looks like a couple subs for Liverpool. Andy Robertson coming on. It looks like, did Origi come off, I believe? Was it Origi? Not 100% sure. Let me check on those subs, see if I can get a more accurate update for you guys there. Looks like Tsimikas for Robertson. Okay, they have not taken off Origi yet. And Origi just took a knock and looks like he is down with an ankle injury. So that sub may come sooner rather than later. Oh, the unit of a fucking... I got to give you a hand. The away fans are giving him a hand. The absolute unit. Akina Fenwa. Abidal Akina Fenwa, one of my new favorite players. Coming off for Sam Vokes for Wickham. I love that guy. That guy is a unit. That's one of my new favorite players. I will say, that could be a team that I'm going to, let me confirm, is Wickham in the Championship or League One? Let me check that. Let me double check on that. I think they're in the Championship. Let's see. Wickham Wanderers. Oh, I believe they're actually in League One. Huh. Let's see here. Yeah, Wickham Wanderers are in League One. They're going to be a team I think I might start keeping an eye out. I mean, I don't judge, so I'm not saying I always bet on League One, but if you can find, I will say, especially throughout the England League, if you can find those one or two teams that you like betting on in Championship or League One, there's usually some money to be made. Like Rangers last year, oh man, them going undefeated, that was great. Like, that won me some good money. So, like, sometimes just finding those couple teams, there's usually one or two teams in each league that kind of sort of run shit. So, if you can find your spots, there's usually some money to be made in those lower leagues. Now, I wouldn't say, like, bet every game by any means. Like, be smart about it. But those are usually the kind of games on, like, a Saturday or Sunday. Looking for that one more things to juice the parlay. I wouldn't hate it. And Wickham Wanderers may go on that list for me. Because it's 3-1, obviously. But this performance against City, they've had some chances. And they're about to get another chance here. Put it through. Oh, what a save by Zach Steffen. Whew. The American keeping the lead alive. But Wickham got a one-on-one dead middle chance. They're not going away here. I got to give a lot of respect to them. They're not just like going away and just trying to stop the bleeding. They know it's a cup competition. They're going for it, and I respect the hell out of that. Another sub for Wickham. Looks like Kai coming off for Horgan. Again, still kind of surprised that City aren't making any subs. I'm okay with it as a Chelsea fan, but wouldn't hate something. Sketchy corner, but okay. Foul on the keeper. Foul on Wickham against the keeper. They fouled Steffen. Free kick City. All right. Come on, City. Let's get at least one more. I'll take a push. And I think the one more might kill Wickham's confidence. I think they think they can still steal two here somehow, some way. But I think a fourth goal for City puts the nail in the coffin and pushes the spread. All right, we're at about the 70th minute mark, and just about all three games, they're off by a little bit here, but just passing the 70th minute mark in the City game here. City getting a build-up. Liverpool has a free kick about 15 outside the box. They try to go in right into the wall. Possible counter-attacking opportunity for Norwich. Puts them through, but cleaned up by Andy Robertson. That's why they brought him on. Here comes City into the box. Cleared out. But kept in, not a throw. De Bruyne into Foden. Foden across. Tap in for Torres. Assuming the flag is down. Flag is down. Good goal. Fernan Torres gets a tap in. Phil Foden, beautiful ball behind the back line. Just kept it on the ground, plain and simple. 4-1 City.
Another assist for Phil Foden. And an easy finish for Ferran Torres.
Nice ball in De Bruyne to release Foden. And just plays it to the back post. Tap in for Torres. All right, here comes two subs. Let's see who they're subbing off here. Josh Wilson Esbrand coming on for James McAtee. Solid debut for Wilson Esbrand. And then looks like Fernan Torres coming off for Cole Palmer. This is where they're starting to go into their bag. I'm a little surprised at those two subs. It looks like they're going to probably try to get a pretty much full 90 in for De Bruyne, Sterling, and Foden. I thought that third goal might push out some of those guys to save for the weekend. Again, as a Chelsea fan, play these guys as much as you possibly want. I never wish injury on anyone, but if one of them wants to, just have a little barking hamstring that keeps them out on the weekend, I'm not exactly upset with that. Back to De Bruyne. Cole Palmer's first touch, a shot over the bar. Let's get a quick check in on that Everton game, see what's going on over there. Brentford has gone up 6-0. Burnley has put it on Rochdale. It is now 3-1. Jay Rodriguez has a hat trick in that game in the 50th, 60th, and 62nd minute. Wow, 4 goals in that second half. Fulham leads still 0-0. Obviously, City 4-1, Liverpool up 2-0. Preston is now up 2-1. Cheltenham Town has actually scored on Preston North End. Would love to see that team get into it. QPR has tied it, is now tied against Everton 2-2. Sheffield United has scored in the 66th minute. It is now 2-2. Needs Southampton to get a goal there. Looks like Watford has tied it against Stoke City 1-1. And Sunderland's still up 2-0 against Wigan. May need to switch over some of these games. I would have loved Liverpool to get a third possibly for me to feel a little safer, but I might have to flip over that game real quick. Norwich trying to counter here on Liverpool and turned it right away in the midfield. And here comes Liverpool. And a trash ball out, but kept in by Jones. Come on, Leeds. Let's put one in, boys. Wickham getting a little possession in their own in the attacking half, and they let the ball run right out of play. That'll do it. That will do it. Another throw in here for City. Actually, throw the Southampton game on my phone real quick. Get a forcing going. Since I'm already having enough troubles focusing on everything, you know? Make it a little more confusing for y'all. Is the Southampton game not available on ESPN Plus? I thought every game was. Weird, they do not have it. Okay, then. We're just going to have to keep score checking. All right, let's see, boys. Come on. Come on, City. Let's just put in one more. Why not? Building up. Cole Palmer. Sprays it out to the wing. Now you can see Wickham definitely trying to sit in more, get rid of the bleeding. Leeds coach just got a yellow card. Clearly unhappy about something. Marcelo Bielsa. So, see what happens. Slip through Sterling. He scores, but let's see if they're onside. Looks like the flag went up. Tough. It did look like, live, it did look like he was offsides. Oh, Minamoto. Did he get a third here for Liverpool? Yes, he did. Throw in. Let's see the replay here. Kept in by Norwich. Turned over. Tapped to Minamoto. Oh, what a finish. Just dragged it on his left, right past the defender, and just slipped it past the keep near post. That kid's going to be a problem. Kid's got a real nice touch. Oh, nice save by the Leeds keeper. Fulham with a solid chance. Corner for Fulham. All right, so we feel good at Liverpool. The overhit in the City game. Did Sterling get a goal? I don't think he did. No, Sterling has not gotten a goal. So for that prop bet, I'd love Sterling to get a goal here. And that would get the cover. So that's what we're rooting for this final 10 minutes. We want one goal. We want it specifically to be Sterling. But that's mainly what we need. We also need a goal out of Southampton. Let's see, is it still 2-2 over there? Yes, it is. That game's a little bit behind. That's only in the 75th minute, so hopefully we'll get some late action there. Palmer up to Mahrez. Got another break here. Come on. Find Sterling on the back post. Riyad coming in himself. To De Bruyne. Blocked by the defender. Foden touches it in. Back out to De Bruyne. Oh, no one could get on the end of that ball. Come on, boys. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. Corner for Fulham. Back post, played in. Leeds clear. Oh, the return ball in, that was dangerous, but runs through to the keep. Looks like the ref has stopped play to talk to the defender for some reason in the Leeds game. Doesn't look like he's carding him, just talking to him. Weird. Foden trying to switch the play, but it runs out. Come on, Leeds. We need a Leeds goal. We need a Southampton goal. And one more from City would be great. I'll take a push, but come on. Come on, boys.
Inside the last 10 minutes now. Egan Riley. Palmer. Burnley.
Come on, boys. Just give it to Sterling. Let him just dangle on the whole team.
Alvarez to De Bruyne. City.
Oh, Sterling on the ball. Got three surrounding him. Back out to De Bruyne. Slips through Sterling. Oh, he plays it back to Mahrez. And there's the goal. I didn't get the prop for Sterling. I would have liked to maybe go on target, but it was absolutely the smart play. Passed it right back. Mahrez, wide open net. And there's the cover on the -3, so happy about that. There's the City goal. Love that. Wow. What a ball through by De Bruyne. And then just Sterling on the end of it. And that's exactly what they were talking about, of not just running to the front post and getting in the pile, making yourself a target. And that's what Riyad Mahrez has done in the second half. Leeds with a solid chance, but cleared by Fulham. Throw in. Liverpool on the counter. Runs out of play. Let's check on Southampton. Come on, Southampton. Still 2-2. But they just brought on Che Adams. So hopefully Che Adams can, bring a little bit of life in that midfield. Oh, man, I don't feel great about that. I do feel good about my +1 with QPR against Everton. That's still 2-2. Burnley has made it 4-1. That's the only real score changes. Oh, Stoke up 2-1 on Watford now. Cross in, Mara's outside. Switches to De Bruyne. Give it to Sterling. Give it to Sterling. Good switch. De Bruyne. Chips it in. No. Goal kick. Come on. I need a Leeds goal. I need a Southampton goal. I need a Leeds goal. I need a Southampton goal. Liverpool's good. City's good. The over in City's good. Don't have the Sterling goal, but guess I can't be that greedy, and it's still not impossible here. I think he'll have at least another chance. Uh-oh, Fulham with a chance. Leeds looks like they're going to be able to clear here. Not fully clear, though. Fulham got the ball back. Oh, but Fulham wins the free kick in their own end. Alleviates some of the pressure. A lot of fouls in that Fulham's Leeds game. A real tight 0-0 game. 14 fouls for Fulham, 10 fouls for Leeds already. Jeez. No one's really gotten anything going there. Wickham with a little bit of a counterattack here. Releasing him down the line, but doesn't seem like there's going to be much here. Yeah, City's gotten back. Cleared. And City has the ball back. Crazy. So damn good. Come on. Come on. I'm just waiting for that update. Southampton 3-2. I feel it. It's coming. Oh, Cole Palmer. The young kid, number 80. That's always good for them. Get a young kid on the scorecard, you know. This Etihad's going absolute nuts for him. Crowd's pumped. Number 80. That's always good when you can get a number 80 scoring for you. Hell of a run. He just took on the defense and no one marked him, and he put it in the back of the net. Got to give credit. Helps when you have guys like Sterling and Mahrez and De Bruyne running ahead of you. The defenders might fall off to those guys, but hey, no one marked him, and he put a hell of a strike on. So it's now 6-1 in Man City. That spread's looking fine. Everyone and their mother, except for Raheem Sterling, has scored. Would have loved to know what the prop number on Cole Palmer scoring today would be. Sure, that would have paid out nicely. Ooh, Wickham with a nice ball across, but no one there. They kept it in. Wickham getting a chance, but headers over the bar. Fulham with a decent chance up the left side here. Back into the top of the box. Switch to the right. Chipped back into the back post. Good clearance, but not full. Onto the byline. Corner for Fulham. I mean, it seems that Fulham's getting the better chances here. I'm hoping Leeds can catch him on a counter, but played into Sterling. Oh. At this point, all I'm rooting for in that game is a Sterling goal. At this point, who cares? 6-1, 7-1. Let's just get Sterling a goal. Again, very surprised that we got a full 90 out of De Bruyne, Sterling, and Phil Foden. I don't exactly know. I haven't been checking their lineups as closely over the last week or two. I don't know if they kind of needed minutes or needed to get back in form and wanted to get a full run in, but those would be three guys that you would expect on the weekend. And maybe with the one extra day of rest that they'd have over Chelsea, that they feel confident that they can play 2 games in a week. But, I mean, if they don't play De Bruyne or they play De Bruyne at 70% of himself, that's a massive advantage for Chelsea. All right, Liverpool went final here 3-0. We're almost done here in City, about 30 seconds left in stoppage. It's only the 88th minute here for Leeds, so hopefully they can get something going. They got a touch into the box. Oh, runs out for a goal kick. One of their better chances of the second half, sadly. Wickham getting a corner right here at the end. Since it wouldn't hurt my spread, I'd love to see them actually score here right at the end of the game. Like, always got to, something to hang your hat on. Some guy will tell his grandkids that he scored at the Etihad against City. Like, you got to root for those kind of stories in the end of the game when your spread's not in danger. Good ball in. Oh, off the header. Oh, over the post. And that'll do it in Manchester. Man City 6-1, but now it's all about Leeds. Let's get a check on Southampton. Southampton 2-2 in the 91st minute. I don't think I'm going to get the love there, but I've seen crazier shit happen. Fulham with a cross into the box, cleared out by Leeds. Throw in for Fulham. Four added minutes. Okay. We got time for a miracle. Come on, Leeds. We need this. Everything's looking good except for Leeds and Southampton. Oh, another throw-in for Fulham. Come on. Decent ball in by Fulham, but Leeds gets the ball back, trying to clear, but not cleared out. Decent attempt from about 30 out, but wide of the post. Goal kick for Fulham. Come on. This is where we get the build-up. Let's go. Free kick for Leeds at about the half. taken quickly. And another foul. Jesus. Fulham playing very aggressively on the defensive end here, but that could come back to bite them if one of these free kicks can go off. About 10 yards in front of the midfield line. I think you could get a long ball in here. See if you can get someone with a head on it. We're about a minute 30 into stoppage here. Come on. Come on. Miracle goal here. Miracle goal. Let's see. Is Southampton gone final? Free kick in. Good ball to the back post. Oh! Oh! Header on the back post. And the dude making the runs to the near post just missed it by about a foot. If he gets anything onto this, literally gets anything onto this, he's got the keeper beat. Oh, he may have been offsides, though. But, God, that was the chance. That was the chance. Might be all she wrote. We still got a minute and a half here, so anything can happen. Southampton still in the 93rd minute. It looks like they got a corner. So I don't know if they have a chance or not, but just checking scores. Whew, Fulham with a quick ball into the box, but then he's put it over the bar. All right, one more chance here, Leeds. We got the ball. Maybe a miracle? Maybe? Please? Need it? Need it. I knew I should have just taken City and fucking Liverpool with the massive spreads and just called it a day. But you see the slate. It looks so good. There's so many games. You want to touch everything. And I thought I was being like conservative, only touching like 4 games. Oh, leads on the break. Kicks it out to the wingback. Trying to find a ball in. Ball into the striker. Oh! Oh, what a great sliding challenge by the center back. But not cleared fully. Ball's still just kind of dinking around in the air. Leeds got control. Playing it back to the left back. Ball into the box. Cleared. And that's all she wrote. Oh. What a heartbreaker. 0-0 for Leeds. The money line doesn't hit. So that's a tough one. But we still did all right today. Southampton couldn't come through for the boy. Or did they? It looks like it just ended final 2-2. Had a draw there. So no Southampton, no Leeds, but City came through big for the boys. Liverpool looked great. Sterling did not get his goal, but solid day of Carabao Cup action. We will be back tomorrow. Big game for Chelsea against Villa. Probably going to get a B- C+ squad, but should be enough for Villa. Hit me up on the comments. Let me know. Appreciate it. Much love. I'm out.